All right, Chelsea fans, what is up? Brandon from the London is Blue podcast bringing you another match review, this time the Leeds match review, away to Leeds. And boy, we're going to have to break down a little bit, talk about Mr. Mendy. We're going to have to talk about the attack and what Tuchel's going to do before this window wraps up. So make sure you stay tuned.
This
is Joe Cole.
This is Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and you're listening to the
London is Blue podcast.
Things up, Chelsea are playing Leeds away at Elland Road. Bit of a old school rivalry, not so much a new school rivalry since they have struggled to stay in the Premier League for quite a long time. But anyways, Mendy in goal. You had a back three of Silva, Reece James, and Koulibaly. Not excited about seeing Reece James at the center back spot, but that's the way we started yet again. Second week in a row. We had Jorginho and technically Gallagher and Mount in the midfield. Conte being ruled out. Kovacic still not healthy. So Gallagher, who came to the club at the age of 8, is making his full professional debut for Chelsea. A massive, massive milestone for him and a huge, well-earned congratulations to Connor for that. But that's right, you heard a midfield three of Mason, Jorginho, and Connor. And then wingbacks you had Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Cucurella. Up top, just the two, Kai and Sterling. So you've got Havertz and Sterling, as you would really expect to see up there. One surprise on the bench, maybe you could say. So Carney, Chukwuemeka is on the bench, getting his first potential opportunity for the Blues under Thomas Tuchel. Although the way this one went, it was never gonna happen, sadly. All right, look, let's run through the match a little bit. Right off the gate, Leeds pressing like the madmen that they are under Jesse Marsch and their coaching styles. Very complimentary to Bielsa. Obviously, some major changes, but high press is what they do. Koulibaly getting caught on the turn after trying to press Aaronson right away in the match. 9th minute, drawing a yellow card. And I think that was probably a clear depiction of what was to come in this match. Again, Aaronson getting the goal in the 33rd minute. And this was just an absolute howler from Edouard Mendy himself. Getting the ball stuck between his feet. Didn't quickly clear the ball. Didn't clear danger. Chelsea just were not ready for the press today. And unfortunately, Mendy was the one who got caught. And it was just an easy tap in. That is a clear error leading to a goal for Edouard Mendy, who had a good game yesterday. He made some good saves today too. But giving up a goal in the 33rd minute off of something that, is so simple and easy to take care of, it crushed the team, And at that point, I was like, all right, we need halftime. At this point, Chelsea backs the wall. We need to just get into halftime, hit reset. Tuchel probably needs to make some changes, come out in the second half, reorganized, and go. But that didn't happen. And then, look, you get a highly questionable foul on Raheem Sterling, who... you look top of the box, a dangerous position. He didn't really look like he did much, even if he had his hand on him. It's just extremely soft, especially when the referees are being told in the Premier League right now, play advantage. We want to see the play flow more. Like, unless it's like a very obvious and potentially dangerous foul, like let's see if we can let the play go. Absolutely does not. Jack Harrison steps up and finds Rodrigo, who is filling in the Rafinha boots who have left for Barcelona. He now has something like 4 goals in 4 games, and he beat us off a header. Like, I haven't looked it back to see, but Rodrigo is beating us off a header. Like, that is something that as Chelsea you'd find unacceptable. Such a cheap set piece to give away in the first place, and then to let them convert on something like that. Great header, don't get me wrong, but not good enough by any means. Mendy, planted to the spot. He had no chance on that. Just really, really frustrating. So then we finally get into halftime, down 2-0. Our Discord is blowing up. Understandably, Twitter is about to just destroy itself. And there's a lot of finger pointing and blaming to be had. I mean, this is not a good place to be for Chelsea, and it's not where we should be, especially coming off the result against Tottenham. You have to be prepared to build from week to week in the Premier League if you have any level of success. But to have a bit of a match against Everton coming off a tough preseason, we can accept. Second game week, really strong at Spurs. Absolutely smacked them around the pitch. Like, the fact that we lost, highly controversial, understood. But, clearly the better team. And then to walk into Leeds away on the road, fine, sure. They got 0 points from the top 6 last season. They just smacked us. Chelsea needed to come out after halftime, reinvigorate themselves. Tuchel needed to change up the attack, find a new way to play, and it just didn't happen. It was more of the same. Tuchel finally dipping into his subs pocket, making a double sub in the 64th minute. He brought on Pulisic and Ziyech and took off Connor and Jorginho. So now Mount is, kind of the only center mid that's been in the game. You bring Ruben Loftus-Cheek in. This is very copy-paste. Go to a back four. Reece James right back, Gray left back with Silva and Koulibaly, two very slow center backs. But he has to roll the dice. He has to do something. And sure shit, 5 minutes later, Rodrigo with the assist, Jack Harrison with the goal, just reversing the first one. And this one was just sloppy. You didn't clear the ball. It's just more breakdown in positioning and communication for Chelsea. And that was it. I mean, at that point, the Leeds fans are absolutely going mental, as they should be. Chelsea just doesn't really seem like they have an answer to kind of fight back in this one. Look, Raz should have scored early in the match. But even when we got in good spaces, it seemed like we shot ourselves in the foot by being offsides. I mean, how many offsides did we have today in this match? It was just one of those things that I don't know if it was slow at the person reading the pass that weren't ready to play it, or people not getting themselves back on side. But to have 7 offsides in this match is just, it's not good enough. And it created so much I could say like breaking up our attacks over and over and over, because our players are never in a position offsides to bury their chances, and it just was not good enough. A couple late changes from Tuchel. One was Chilwell on the 77th minute for Mason Mount. Again, you're just kind of trying to throw more wide players. That's the only time we had space really was out wide, so we could try to get service in the box. But then 84th minute, Koulibaly tried to be sneaky, is what the commentator's saying. I didn't really see it. It was pretty obvious. There wasn't much sneak about it. Put his hand on the Leeds player, pulled him back a little bit while the Leeds player's breaking. Easy call for the referee's second yellow. He's sent off. Chelsea down player. Aspie comes on for Sterling, just so you can have a back four to end the game and not give up any more goals. It was not what we want to see. It was just from top to bottom quite a disaster. And the players are going to have to pick themselves up and get ready to go. But let's go ahead and break down a couple pieces out of this one. So look, Tuchel has some comments about, winning the second half. Thought we were the better team. Triple touches in the box, but we barely had any shots on goal. That's right, Mr. Tommy T. Unfortunately, a continuance of our problems with Chelsea are that we can drum up 14 shots. Only 3 of them are on target. Leeds, on the other hand, with a third less percentage of possession, have 12 shots, 6 on target. That's 50% to obviously ours, less than 25% rate. Those are the differences in these games. He just said that the 2 main mistakes in the first half, 20-minute period, killed it for the rest of the team. And while you're right, the bigger picture here is that the attack isn't clicking the way we need it to be. Obviously, Chelsea been linked with Aubameyang. Chelsea been linked with, to be fair, quite a few strikers, but even Bayern have said we can't replace Lewandowski, so we're just going to try to make it work this season. Only, really Man City have signed an out-and-out big-time striker. Jury's still out on Liverpool signing Darwin Nunez, but they went for it as well. So I just think it's a bit tough for that to hear, because the eye test certainly doesn't pass that Chelsea were the better team or they're more dominant. 60% possession, but 3 shots on target to show for it is not good enough for a team of this caliber and of this nature. So that's a big one. The other one, I think, is a midfield situation. Look, we went from 3-4-3 last weekend to 3-5-2 this weekend. Mount's very fluid, right? Maybe he's playing as a 10, behind the 2 9s, and he can fill in space laterally if needed. But the midfield was not it today. And Jorginho is always been claimed to be a press-resistant player, right? He's always the one that's jumping in and getting involved in high in possession, never loses it. And for me to see this today, defensively, Leeds ran right by him over and over. And look, is that his best suit? No, it's not. It just shows how important N'Golo Kante is. Conor Gallagher was trying to play the Kante role today, and what was he supposed to do? Like, he could only do so much. It was his first game. He had nerves. The midfield wasn't there today, wasn't it? They didn't help us break the press. They didn't help us defensively not get turned. The midfield got bypassed over and over, and we were always in numbers down situation. I know we've been addressing defenders because we're going to lose half of our defenders. I know we're always looking at attack because attack scores goals, but this midfield is a liability. I'm telling you, I've been preaching it. I even changed my Twitter handle, or not my Twitter handle, but my Twitter name, messing around to say likes vertical passes from midfield, because I do. We did it against Tottenham. We were not able to do it to any good effect today as well. And again, we need a midfield maestro. Is Kovacic it? He could be, right? We've seen it from him, but week in, week out, is he reliable? No. And so Chelsea need to figure out what they're going to do as far as, maintaining possession, setting the team up for defensive structure, and getting the ball to the attackers in a good spot. But I do want to wrap real quick. Last year, saying I thought Ruben Loftus-Cheek was fantastic today. Yet again, the amount of times he got to the byline and squared balls back. Correa missing one. I think Sterling missed one. I mean, Ruben was putting these crosses and these whipped in balls on the floor into dangerous areas, and there's nobody there to convert it yet again today. This is the stuff we see from teams at the top of the table. And Chelsea just, again, missed out on doing that stuff. So, look, a surprise renaissance from Ruben as a right wing back. It seems like he's going to hold that position down almost to a fault, because if it pins Reece back into a position where he's less beneficial, I just don't know what we're going to do. It just seems like Tuchel's happy to start with Reece at right center back, Ruben at right wing back, and then when he needs to make a change because the midfield's not doing well enough, he pushes Ruben into the midfield, pushes Reece back up to right wing back, and then usually that is a positive momentum change. But today it wasn't. So we're gonna have to see what happens, right? We're gonna have to continue to play the game. We're gonna have to continue to see what Chelsea do in the transfer window, because that they're not done. I don't know how much they can really do with this team. I did tweet that I'm a little bit concerned because this team, from a training standpoint, they just don't seem like they really know who's coming and going completely yet. So training seems a little bit maybe disjointed right now. I don't know. I'm kind of clutching at straws right now, trying to figure it out. It's only the third match of the Premier League season. We had a terrible preseason, but so far it's not looking good. Leicester City up next on the 29th. Hopefully we can get Fofana in before that, really disrupt them and add some depth to the center back spot. But we're going to have to do a little bit of soul searching this week with Tuchel and the players at Cobham. I hope they turn around as always. I mean, Leicester in a bad spot. We need to take advantage of their poor form so that we can really get more points on the board, because I think we're 12th right now, which, again, early days doesn't really mean anything, but we need maximum points. We've now won one, lost one, drawn one against Everton, Tottenham, and Leeds. I even think with the poor preseason, you say it's not good enough. So anyways, look, more content coming to you all week. We have podcasts 3, 4, 5 days a week. London is Blue podcast for much, much more content. And follow us on Instagram and TikTok. We have a ton of reels and TikTok stories on there. You're going to love it. So anyways, if you want more content, I would also say we have a Discord. We have a Patreon page. Go ahead and follow it. Like-minded, lovely Chelsea fans out there to hang out with throughout the week in chat. So anyways, that's going to wrap it up for me and for everybody. We'll see you next time.